It's not old wine in a new bottle, but it's an old idea that now technology has kind of just empowered.
So I'm Katie Bullard. I'm the Chief Growth Officer here at DiscoverOrg.
I'm David Sill. I'm the SVP of Sales at DiscoverOrg.
You know, we've come out with so many new products and so many new data sets over the past couple of years that when we launch one of those new products or data sets, it's sort of the perfect time to really develop a true account-based everything strategy, because these are accounts that we haven't gone after before. They're not as aware of the DiscoverOrg brand. And so to be able to engage with them in this kind of very orchestrated way between sales and marketing is a really powerful place to start that launch process. We still have a huge inbound lead engine. It brings in about 50% of our revenue, and we will continue to put resources and efforts and money behind that inbound lead engine. I think for us, as I mentioned, when we have a new product or we have a new data set with a new set of target accounts that we haven't already named and divvied up across the sales and marketing team, that's sort of the perfect place for us to start each ABE experiment. And I think we view it that way, is we're not trying to kind of boil the ocean right at once. We're trying to take one product, and in this case, it's our HR data set, and really do true account-based everything with an A/B test where we can see what works and what doesn't work, and then we can think about how we roll it out to the next data set and the next product and the next group of named accounts.
I think it's easy in a fast-growing organization for each functional area to pursue its own agenda, and there might be then an unintended disconnect between, say, what marketing is doing and what sales is doing. So to me, this is a great way for us to, we know that we have a platform that is best in class as far as others executing that account-based everything strategy. So there's a real purity to us kind of saying, all right, let's go through those steps ourselves, and then we can inform others as to what we learn, what works, what doesn't work. But the idea that we, in a busy day, that we kind of are on the same page with this tranche of accounts in this strategy, that feels really good.
And I think kind of one level deeper, you asked, how are we planning on implementing it? I think at the highest level, what we're planning on doing, what we are doing, is we're identifying who the target accounts are that we want to go after based on an ideal customer profile. We're keeping it relatively finite, and then we are pulling a subset of those accounts out of this orchestration so that we really can tell what impact does ABE have versus kind of just a traditional outbound prospecting method. And so for the accounts that we will be doing this kind of full orchestration with, we're talking about outbound emails, outbound calls, ad targeting, direct mail, personalized videos, some very specialized events for these target accounts, and measuring the impact that each of those has on the overall penetration of those accounts, the velocity of the sales cycle within those accounts, and the deal size that we get with those accounts, compared to the ones that we don't do all of that with.
I think success looks like a very engaged prospect account turning into a customer with great buy-in at different levels of stakeholder at that organization, and everybody kind of excited for the promise of DiscoverOrg and us being able to help them execute their go-to-market strategy.
I think the other thing that's going to be really fun to kind of prove out is the fact that we can get a great base of new customers buying this HR data set faster than we've been able to get new customers with some of our previous data sets that we've launched with sort of a more traditional demand gen and prospecting approach. So I'm excited to see and prove that out.
I would add that I kind of grew up in a sales world where it wasn't account-based everything, but it was this idea that said, hey, if XYZ company is deemed to be a great fit for us, then we don't give up easily on XYZ company. We bring it and we bring it some more until they become a customer. And so to see that mentality that you know, a lot of sales professionals have walked around with for a long time, especially when you talk about sort of enterprise type accounts, it's now being rounded out by so many more accoutrements that are going to lead to success and up that probability of them becoming a customer. So to me, it's not old wine in a new bottle, but it's an old idea that now technology has kind of just empowered, which I think is really cool.
Yeah, I was going to add something very similar, which is I think a lot of people feel like, oh, well, isn't account-based everything just having a list of named accounts that you know that you want to go after and that are great fits for you? And that is like step one of account-based everything. To Dave's point, I think what's so exciting about what we can do now with technology is that we can orchestrate all of these plays and all of these engagement points against that list of named accounts in a way that doesn't feel chaotic to the prospect on the other end, which I think in an old world could have, right? If marketing is trying to send an email and sales, right. Totally. And so what we're really doing is we're saying, let's actually think very strategically about when they get an ad and when they get an email and when they get a call and when we invite them to an event so that it feels all part of this, you know, entire program.
And I would say that even there's a purity to it, because you actually are showing the customer or the prospect that you know what their challenges are, you know what they're struggling with. You're actually there to help be part of the solution. You're not just, you know, talking to 1,000 people the same way and seeing who raises their hand or who joins you. It's very hyper personalized, and I think that if you're a solution provider like we are, that's where you want to be in somebody's head.